I think we're alone now. Jax, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Andre?
I am good. It's been a crazy past maybe 6 months to a year for you, hasn't it?
Oh my gosh, I have no words. It has been absolutely insane. I'm here in
Now,
my apartment.
yeah. Do you have the setup that Ellen gave you? Is that what you're
uh,
using?
yeah, half and half. I actually gave the kid I babysit the ring light because I have my own ring light. So she was like, "What? Ellen touched this? Oh my god!"
That's so great. And a
Yeah,
lot of people the past probably year and a half, especially musical artists, they sit here and they go, "Oh, the pandemic really hasn't been great for them." But for you, it's actually been a great tool, almost a wonder for you during the pandemic because when you started using TikTok and posting the videos, you had that time at home doing the parody videos during the
yeah.
pandemic, and that's when things sort of just exploded for you.
Yeah, Stacy, why is your boyfriend being super weird? Super weird. Yeah, pretty much that one. I literally I went through. By the way, it wasn't all like perfect in any way. I went through all the stages of depression. I think everybody went through lots of mental health craziness, panic, especially financial panic, which inspired Ring Pop for the first song I put out really on TikTok. But I think that it was really cool to have an outlet and a platform because I couldn't play live. I couldn't be in the studio writing songs. Normally, I'm a full time songwriter for not just myself, but for other people. And I was writing, 7 days a week, sometimes double sessions during the day, just kind of exhausted. So, in a way, it was almost a blessing that I was kind of forced to stop. But I couldn't really. So I was like in my living room writing songs. How do I get people to hear this stuff? And then TikTok was just the greatest gift ever, and it's been very, very cool since.
So when you sit down or when you get the idea to do one of your fun parody songs or anything else like that, how long does it take you sort of from the start of the concept to posting the TikTok video? Can you do stuff within 2 hours, or sometimes does it take you a day or two to get everything finalized?
So sometimes it happens in 5 minutes because it's just goofy and I want to laugh too. So I run it by some friends, I run it by my boyfriend. I'll like run it by some kids, and I'm like, "Is this funny?" And they're like, "Yeah, this is funny." I'm like, "Cool, I'll post it." But I normally sometimes I'll start an idea and I'm like, "And I can't think of a funny way to end this," and I'll just leave it in my notes and then come back to it a week later and finish it then when my brain is fresh. But I think it just depends. A lot of the inspiration comes from just general conversation, like today I might even find something here because I'm like, oh, that was funny, that could translate into this. But yeah, no, I have a lot of fun with it. I'm always smiling when I'm writing them. The ones that stress me out a little bit more are my own music, like my own songs. So I'm like, oh gosh, I hope they like it, like this is actually my song. But yeah, no, it's all fun, and that's all pretty quick because it's goofy.
Does it sort of give you a break, when you're having maybe a difficult time writing a song for yourself or another artist, and maybe have that writer's block
Yeah.
or something else? Then you sit down and you do a parody video or a parody song, whatever it might be, TikTok video, and you can then come back sort of refreshed and attack that
Totally.
song again.
Totally, 100%. I'll write like serious songs throughout the day, and then I'm just serious by day, party by night. I come home and I'm like, "Oh, okay, now we can get goofy." But I will say like that definitely is the case when I'm writing for other people because it sometimes can be really draining trying to be in someone's head and stuff like that. But for my own project, I've actually for the album I'm writing now, I actually have been able to incorporate a lot of the timing and tongue-in-cheek dad joke type stuff into the lyrics. This is the first time kind of I've not been afraid to be punny and really write lyrics because I think my whole life people have been like, this is too thought out. Like this needs to be kind of dumber or sexier or this and that, just simpler. And I'm like, the way my brain works with lyrics is I love to fill a puzzle. Like I'm shamelessly cheesy, so I think a lot of this pop album that I'm writing, I'm actually able to take the TikTok excitement and how fun it is to make these TikToks and incorporate it a little bit, not too much, not like a comedy album, but it's definitely punny. The album's called Dad Jokes. So I'm like, I'm not afraid to use it in the studio now, which makes the writing process so much more fun. And I could really be myself. And I'm having a freaking blast. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the best part of it right there.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
we know the single "Like My Father." It's been
Yeah.
blowing up. I actually first heard the song probably months ago. You know, I would be like, Alexa, play, you know, pop whatever, and it would come on. So I heard
Yeah.
it, you know, and it was great. And then we started playing it on the station. And how many people have now approached you from that song to say, will you sing this at my wedding for
Oh my
us?
gosh, so many.
Yes.
A lot of the cool part is a lot. First of all, I appreciate you playing the song. You're making every dream in the world come true, not only for myself but for my mom and dad because they're losing it back in Jersey, just freaking out. Yeah, I've gotten approached by a lot of friends, which is fun because I'm always down to play a friend's wedding. But yeah, I'm getting it a lot on Instagram. Wedding season was like I think about a month or two ago, and then
Yeah.
it's kind of reapproaching. People are booking their weddings now for June or whatever it is. So I'm getting a lot of DMs being like, this is the daddy daughter dance. Will you please come sing it? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like I remember, watching Ed Sheeran's song go blow up in the wedding scene. And I was like,
Mhm.
this is just such a classic. And I never really imagine that this would even like kind of fall into that lane because it was to me it was so specific to my parents and my family. It was just literally a summary of my parents' relationship, and I didn't. I've been really in shock with how many people are connecting to it when it comes to their families and their parents. So it's really freaking cool. It's really awesome. I'm shocked, really. Like it's nuts.
When you start planning the tour, you should just plan it sort of around the weddings. You know,
Right.
each state you go to, you show up at someone else's wedding and
Yo.
perform there, and then you have your concert, or vice versa,
It's
and just
kind of
work
like
your way across the
it's kind
states.
of like the like more vanilla Johnny Cash, where like he did prisons and I just do weddings.
You could do it in a jumpsuit, you know, perform at the
Yeah.
wedding in a jumpsuit. There you
There we
go.
go. Then it's badass. Whenever you're in a jumpsuit, it's rock and roll.
Yes.
It's definitely not in some Scottsdale vineyard at all. Like we are,
Right.
we are, we are badass over here.
So you talked about doing the album now, and
Yeah.
like my father, a little different sound and vibe than
Yeah.
90s kid and ring
Yeah.
pop. So putting it all together on the album, you know,
Mhm.
how is the sound going to be? The songs that are coming out of it.
Yeah, I think it's always a struggle to write music and make sure at the end of the day it's cohesive with the body of work. So we've written so many songs at this point, and now we're trying to put them in the pockets that work. For me, like my father, why it's a little bit easier with that one, I think, is it's because it's a pretty stripped pop ballad, so there's not too much like ear candy going on, so it could kind of work with lots of pop albums. So I'm cool with putting it in the mix of, even like kind of a pop punk feel. Even I think it's fine as long as that's the ballad that's broken down. I have one other ballad that is in like we're not sure yet, but I really love it. I put it on TikTok too. It's called Shark Week. That kind of feels like that one. But I think the rest of the album's just super duper pop. And I grew up a Warped Tour baby, just full emo kid, in and out of Zoomies, Hot Topic, Spencer's, just with my rainbow studded belt. So I know that that's a whole other world that naturally comes out, especially in my live set. So I wanted to incorporate a tiny, tiny bit of that part of me into the album. So it's almost just a mixture of pop and some like kind of bigger 808s, 2021 feeling, shamelessly pop meets, little electric guitars, a little bit of that, a little bit of just pop punk in the choruses and stuff like that. So I'm trying to make it as much me as I possibly can for my big first album. So hopefully it all ties in together.
I bet it will. I think you've got a good handle and grasp on how to tie it all together there. Now with like my father, we know of
Yeah.
course you wrote it about your parents and their
Mhm.
relationship and everything else. When did you first have the idea to write that song, and how long did it take you to put it all together?
You know, I rarely I write so much music that I rarely get mega attached to a song. I know a lot of artists do, where oh, this is my baby, and in a way it kind of is. But I've not felt this way about a song in a really, really long time. And it's a spiritual feeling you get in the studio when you're finished with it and you record that last vocal, and you're like, oh, what did we just do in here? Because this feels so right. This was one of the easiest songs I've ever written. Because it was so honest to my parents' love story. Like, I grew up, they used to just make out. My dad would just be slapping my mom's butt all the time. Like, they'd be making out all the time. They were so gross, like, growing up. My brother and I were like, ew, stop. This is so embarrassing. They'd be at parties just dancing it up on the dance floor, grinding. And you're like, oh, God. And then as I got older and I started looking for the right guy, I was not getting the same affection that I grew up witnessing. And I was like, wait a second, that's actually, it's not as good as I thought. I kind of want it. So I'm like, now I seek that now as I get older in relationships, and that kind of, you know, classic chivalry, that kind of just shameless affection. And I was like, you know what, I haven't written a love song in a while. Why don't I write about the best love story I know? And that is my mom and dad. So, and it just kind of poured out really, really fast, because you know, that's just the honest truth. And after that is when it comes into, like, when you realize you have something really, really big and really exciting, because it feels so honest. I was like in and out of the studio for the next, at 4 a.m., the next like 5 days, tweaking the littlest like violin sounds and things like that. And that's like the longer process. But the song itself, and my mom and dad were really super emotional about it. When I was done writing it, my first instinct was to send it to them. And then my TikTok brain just took over and was like, wait, this would be a really interesting thing to see their initial reaction to it.
Yeah.
So I held it. I like sat on it for like 2 months. And then I flew home to New York, got my mom like a couple of glasses of wine. And then I set up a little like TikTok space in my parents' basement, and I was like, hey guys, will you come down really quick? I want to do a little TikTok. You down? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever, not this again. They sit in front of the camera, and I put the song. And I think actually, to be honest, I think the first 20 seconds of the song, you could see it in my dad's face that he still thinks like it's going to be a prank or something, like someone's going to come out and scare him or something. And it was just ended up being really, really emotional and cute. And my mom kind of cried, and maybe it was the wine. I don't know. after that, I was like, all right, now that I finally showed you, and it's a big emotional moment, we hugged, they listened to it again about 100 times. I was like, okay, by the way, are you guys down to fly to Georgia tomorrow? Because we have to do a music video for this song pretty quick, because it's coming out. And they're like, what? No, I can't act. I can't be in this. Even like, you know, everybody was telling me, yeah, we have actors that'll look like your parents. Like, we'll get them to dance in the video. And I was like, that just doesn't feel right. Like, you have no idea. My parents are crazy. They're great. They're going to be great on camera. I want to capture all those moments I was talking about in the song, and I want to direct it. And I'm a horrible director. I realized that after the video. I realized I messed up mostly everything logistically, except for being able to capture those moments. That I guess that's the important part. But
yes,
but they did it. It was really fun.
Yeah, well, we love the video, we love the song. And are you able to do it for us right now?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Who put this piano here?
Yeah, where did this come from?
How did this guy? And I'll be honest, I am in a 1-bedroom, and the piano's just always there. But sure, I play. Can you hear that?
We can, yes.
Fricka. Yeah. Okay. So this one is a song about my mother and father. It's called "Like My Father," and yeah. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. I wanna come home to roses and dirty little notes on post-its. And when my hair starts turning gray, they'll say I'm like a fine wine, better with age. I guess I learned it from my parents, that true love starts with friendship. A kiss on the forehead, a date night, fake an apology after a fight. I need a man who's patient patient and kind gets out of the car and holds the door. I wanna slow dance in the living room like we're 18 at senior prom and grow old with someone who makes me feel young. I need a man who loves me like my father loves my mom. I want a road trip in the summers. I wanna make fun of each other. I wanna rock out to Billy Joel and flip our kids off when they call us old. He'll accidentally burn our dinner and let me be the Scrabble winner. And when my body changes shapes, he'll say, oh my God, you look hot today. I need a man who's patient and kind, gets out of the car and holds the door. I wanna slow dance in the living room like we're 18 at senior prom and grow old with someone who makes me feel young. I need a man who loves me like my father loves my mom. I need a man who loves me like my father loves my mom.
Yeah, Jackson, like my father. That was awesome. That was so great. Thank you. Thank you. We know that I know you got a busy schedule ahead of you, so we'll be letting you go here soon. But I also know you guys, you've got a holiday song out now, "Feel Like a Kid Again." Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like a kid again.
Which it's a fun holiday song, you know, for families to be playing when they're decorating the house and unwrapping the gifts. So yeah,
the funny thing about that song, like there's a line in there that always makes me laugh really, really hard. Because it was a line I just had to rhyme something with. And it was, my mama's cooking up her favorite recipe. And the reality is my mom is just not a great cook. And every single year we cater Italian food for Christmas. And even like she used to tell my aunt, like we used to get the same pie from a bakery. She would take the pie out of the container, put it in a ceramic thing and be like, here it is again, year 5, the famous recipe of this pie. And everyone's like, oh, thank God Jill brought the pie. She's so great. And I'm like, oh God, come on. So yeah, Christmas. I'm half Jewish anyway, so
Well, Jax, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us, for singing the song. We can't wait for the album to be finished and to be released, and for you to be on the road again soon. Of course, everybody can check her out at Jax Writes Songs on TikTok and on Instagram. Make sure you guys follow her, see all the different celebrities that she has pop in and the fun that she has with those. So it's always a blast. You're one of the best follows on there, and we can't wait for more new music from you, Jax.
Andre, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much again for adding my song. It's just the coolest feeling in the world. I appreciate you more than you know. You have no idea. No idea. Thank you. This is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Jax.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. We don't talk soon.
Have a great one. Bye, Jax.